Hey everybody. So students are always asking me about my favorite video games. So today, I thought I'd tell you my top 5 favorite video games of all time. Now for this list, I'm going to include console games, maybe even apps, as well as arcade games, since those are mostly what I grew up with. Now this list is in no particular order, except for number 1. Because honestly, it's really hard to put an order together. So let's go. Up first on the list would be Centipede. Centipede debuted in 1980 and involves shooting centipedes, spiders, scorpions, and fleas that are trying to eat you, or kill you, or both. I have lost so many quarters to this game, it's crazy. However, wouldn't Pest Control be a better name than Centipede? I mean, we're not just killing centipedes here. And aren't the scorpions worth the most points anyway? Let's also not forget about the okay sequel, Millipede. Up next on my list, a personal favorite of mine. Oh, what a good game. And that's Joust. An arcade game debuting in 1982, Joust certainly had an odd concept. Basically, you were a knight riding an ostrich whose enemy rode buzzards. When you defeated your buzzard-riding enemy, you had to get the eggs he left behind. Oh, and if you took too long in a level, a pterodactyl would come to kill you. But the gameplay was just so good, you never really cared about any of that. There was a sequel, but the original was the best. Up next on my list might be a surprising choice, and that's Donkey Kong Jr. Not Donkey Kong, but to tell you the truth, I never really cared for him that much. I mean, I wasted some quarters on it, but never really cared for it. Anyway, Donkey Kong Jr., the excellent sequel. That made my list. Donkey Kong Jr. was originally an arcade game that debuted in 1982, and as Jr. trying to rescue his father Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong's cage is guarded by Mario. This is Mario's only appearance as a bad guy in a video game. Now, I didn't play this much in the arcade, but I played it all the time on the ColecoVision. By the way, the ColecoVision, still my all-time favorite console. Another great ColecoVision game, that'd be Time Pilot. Okay, now for this list, I have to include a sports game. I love sports video games. I've been playing sports video games, well, since I've been playing video games. But what do I include on the list? There's just so many. Do I put one of the really good Tiger Woods games? Something from the Madden series? Maybe from the excellent FIFA series? Or let's go way back in the basketball series and go like Bulls vs. Blazers on the SNES. I don't know, there's so many good sports games, but no. There's only one choice, and that choice is NBA Jam. Not the remakes that have come out since, but rather that absolutely ridiculous original arcade NBA Jam that debuted in 1993. That was such a good game. I'd play that against my bandmates like all day, all night, just forever. The crazy dunks, the big heads, he's on fire! The classic players going 2-on-2. No games ever come close. Okay, now, before I get to my final game, my number 1 game of all time, which really is my number 1 game of all time, a few others that just didn't make the list that are really good though. Parappa the Rapper, that's a great one, a really weird one. Let's go with Battlefield 1, a new game, but really good World War I game. Civilization, amazing strategy game. I'm thinking back to Spy Hunter, a great. There's so many good ones. But you know what? Let's talk about the greatest game of all time. And unquestionably, that would be Frogger. Frogger was introduced way back in 1981 and involves getting your little frogs home by crossing roads and rivers full of hazards. Extra points if you get his girlfriend to safety as well. Now the early levels are super easy, but it gets intense very quickly. I remember when video games got really good, and my local arcade started putting all the classic old games in the back room. I'd go back there with a pocket full of quarters and play just constantly. The Frogger in the classics room had 2 plays for a quarter option. What a deal that was. At this point, I consider myself a Frogger champion. There have been so many versions of Frogger over the years, I mean for every console, even phone app versions, but nothing beats the original. So there you have it. My top 5 video games of all time. Mostly classic old games, but tell you the truth, even though graphics got much better, the games haven't. Those classics are still so good. Alright, so I'd love to hear what your favorite video games are. Please leave them in the comments so we could talk about it. Bye, everybody.